Hey, this is Dr. Drew, and you were listening to This Life
with Bob Forrest
and Dr. Drew.
Here we are. Gosh darn right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather round. Another episode of This Life with Dr. Drew and Bob Forrest. Here we are.
Thank Douglas Pinsky for that little intro music. We forgot to mention that. Great.
Can he do that in his bedroom?
Yeah, he does that on the computer.
It's amazing what can get done with a computer and a keyboard.
The great Tom Arnold. Speaking of amazing, the show is the Viceland show. Hashtag the hunt for the Trump tapes. We're going to show a trailer a little later. At Tom Arnold. Instagram, the Tom Arnold. Tom, good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
Great job on Stern.
Oh, well, yeah. Just let it,
let it go.
Just go. You go when you're on that show.
That's absolutely
for
true.
an hour. You got to entertain the man and just let it go. And then people talk about how insane you are when you leave there. But, you're in there with him. You're like, I just got to entertain him for an hour.
It is. You do
here, you don't care.
No.
You're like, it's you and Bob.
I know.
Whatever.
Who gives a shit?
Let it go. Yeah. Let it go.
So, Bob, we ran right to our microphones because you said you had something to say.
Okay, so.
First of all, the name of the show sounds like I'm on NPR.
This Life?
Yeah. This Life
like
with
that.
Bob.
With Lisa Lang. With Lisa Lang.
Yeah.
So you and I have a bond going back to the 80s, my friend.
Yes, we do.
So, and last time we spoke, we were big can't believe what's going on. This is unbelievable. I now don't think it's as unbelievable as I thought. I think I saw you a year ago.
Right.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And we're referring to Trump.
Right.
Well, Sam Harris did a little thought experiment where a guy was talking to him, said, imagine what would have been like if it hadn't happened, where all that discontent, where would that have gone? Because he's the
right
embodiment of all the discontent, right?
Well, it would have been just Hillary would have been. They would have been
killing her.
Yeah. It would still been there,
her.
but it wouldn't have been so targeted, and it wouldn't have raised up all this stuff. This festered up, this infection, this MRSA, that all is. So it's actually good. We owe Trump because it showed itself.
Do.
Right.
It showed us something.
Well,
here's what I think.
Ryan
It
Holiday.
showed us something about our brothers and sisters, Tom.
True.
You and I being of the liberal brigade.
Yes.
Something I saw hatred that I didn't expect from some of my closest friends.
Right.
And there was no talking to them. Like,
yes.
This is just politics. This is just gross.
Right.
So my evolution of thought has been right message, wrong messenger.
Right. True.
Right.
Well,
right.
But then Ryan Holiday wrote the book, The Conspiracy Book, and he's a Stoic philosopher, and he said, look, he goes, I think he wrote a book called Trust Me, I'm Lying, where he talked about how the social media is such BS and how people can say anything and then that becomes news. And he said, we've been doing that to each other for so much now. He goes, it's natural that a resistant strain of bacteria would come up.
Right.
And he's like that resistant strain. You can't do anything to affect it.
John Kennedy O'Toole wrote a book called Confederacy of Dunces, which is about these people. Well, here's the thing. The beauty is karma. Trump got elected president. He based his whole candidacy on a lie that the first
look right to your
right. Oh, there you go. The first black president. He made him, this private citizen, made the first black president show his birth certificate.
Oh, yeah.
What that actually is a pretty big accomplishment for Donald Trump. Maybe his biggest. So if he could do that, then me, Tom Arnold, can take him down. I mean, really.
Well,
so if he could become president,
the egalitarianism of that,
absolutely.
But describe why that particular thing was so bothersome to you.
Well, here's why it was bothersome. In 2008, a guy named Davis Guggenheim makes this probably 10-minute little mini doc for the Democratic Convention, and it's basically Barack Obama's life, and you know how they make these documentaries about every candidate, and I'm watching this thing, and Barack Obama grew up in a small town in Kansas, not unlike Ottumwa, Iowa, where I grew up. And Barack Obama had from a single parent family and in a farming community, and his grandfather looked like my grandfather. And I'm from a single parent family in a farming community. And if you're from a single parent family in a farming community, if there's something odd about your family, I didn't have a mother and he didn't have a father. And by the way, he was also a black kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about that in his documentary a lot, but there's a scene in there where he's on his grandfather's shoulders and they're at the Kennedy Space Center. They're watching a capsule come down and he's talking about how great it was to be on his grandfather's shoulders. And it's so touching to me because I spent a long time with my grandpa.
Yeah,
and I just it was very emotional for me, and I thought to myself later when all of a sudden I saw Donald Trump, a man I know for 30 years, on TV saying that Barack Obama was not born. He wasn't. He was an illegitimate president, and I thought, that is such BS. That Barack Obama's grandfather wasn't alive to grab him by the collar and say, "Hey, that's my kid.
Yeah.
Shut up." And I thought how outrageous it was. And that I immediately picked up the phone and called NBC and called Mark Burnett and said, "What are you going to do about this guy? That is outrageous.
Right.
What are you going to do, Chuck LaBella? Hey, why isn't everybody standing up and doing something about that? Is because his grandpa isn't alive to defend him. His mother isn't alive. Why isn't everybody up in arms?" And that was the moment that things changed for me because I thought about my grandpa. Believe me, if you're from a small town and you're having an unusual family, like not without a mother, or you're a black kid without a father, your grandpa's had to defend you a lot of times, like my grandpa did. So that was the bond I had for his grandpa. Yeah. That's who I was standing up for.
But you've known Trump 30 years. He doesn't care about grandpas. He doesn't care about the stuff that we care about. He cares about himself.
But I cared about Barack Obama's grandpa. That's who I'm standing up for. That guy.
Right. I get it.
I'm representing him.
So here's the thing. When you gave us that interview saying that there is this video that exists that now your show is about, I was kind of mad at you. I didn't say because I love you and I respect you. I was like, why didn't you fucking release that video? I didn't know that you didn't have it.
Right.
That you had only
I'd
seen
it. Yes,
right?
before.
I think it could have stopped Trump.
No.
If you had the pussy grab and that video that you're talking about in
Stormy Daniels
in October, I don't think Trump gets elected. But now I don't think it matters what comes out. He could actually shoot somebody on Park Avenue and nothing would happen.
No, here's the thing too. All right, the video I had seen, and here's how it came out. It's in October of 2016, and I'm doing an interview talking about doing my stand-up show I had in Seattle, and I was so frustrated because the pussy grab had come out, and yet it's so, oh my God, they're just mowing over it, and he's still going to win. And I just, out of frustration, say, I can't. It's outrageous. I've seen this video, which a lot of people have seen before, and he says this. And by the way, it wasn't a hard N-word. It was a sort of a matter of fact. We're going up to, and I described the restaurant. It's a matter of fact who he said it to. Now, the irony is, since then, I have interviewed the person that was with him and I've interviewed people that were visit him on the set of The Apprentice, and I have gone back and rebuild the crew of The Apprentice on my show. Listen, I'm going to rebuild the whole, not only that tape, but there are other tapes. Who's going to
play Donald Trump?
No, we are rebuilding. There's other tapes that are far worse.
Are you friendly with Alec Baldwin?
Oh, I am friendly with Alec Baldwin. I've heard from Alec Baldwin yesterday. I am. I've heard from a lot of people, and a lot of people want to help. There are so many worse things that he did.
Let's pull out of that for a second. I understand. It's very exciting.
And by the way, there's a tip line, Viceland.com / how do you do that? / TIPS. Send me all of your tapes. We've had so many people coming forward.
What is that? What are you pointing at?
You're playing
on the trailer. Let's play the trailer. It's on the trailer.
Here we go.
Donald Trump saying, quote unquote, grab them by the pussy.
You're talking about 16-year-old girls in their underwear here, okay?
Spewing racial slurs on the set of Celebrity Apprentice.
President Trump denies any involvement with prostitutes.
Don't worry. Tom Arnold is on it. And I'm Tom Arnold.
No, where's the tip line?
So let's go back to our grandfathers, though.
Yes.
Let's go back to our grandfathers.
Yes.
I was raised by my grandfather also.
Yeah.
He legally adopted me.
Oh, that's right.
So,
tell him why.
because his daughter had me.
Yeah, there you go.
But,
Yeah.
So if you put my dad, I consider him my dad, my grandfather, in a 21st century context, he is racist.
Yes.
He is misogynist.
Yes.
He is homophobic.
Yes.
He was a great dad.
Mm-hmm.
Right? America's not ready for the grayness of life, I don't think.
Right.
They like cartoons. They like black and white.
Right.
They like this. We've got to evolve to understanding context.
Right.
That my dad was a product of the Depression and he used.
But we've decided it's not a defense.
Right. But you have to understand, my grandfather, too, and you're right, but my grandfather was also one of the first people. He was a medic of the 42nd Rainbow Division, and he was one of the first people that entered Dachau to liberate Dachau. He was of that generation. Barack Obama's grandfather was in World War II. He was one of the people that helped liberate Germany, that helped free, he's from that generation. So when you talk about these people that are Trump fans, they're yahoos.
Yeah,
they tell me what you're doing that gives you, it's like this. Okay, if you're complaining about inner city Chicago, tell me that you have been there, that you have volunteered, that you have mentored a young black
mostly
lady.
They're complaining there's no coal jobs in West Virginia. I got news for them. There's no coal jobs for anybody anymore.
No.
And no politician has the guts to tell them, especially.
And that's the thing about him.
Right?
Trump, it's okay if you lie if you're on a reality show. And you know what? Mark Burnett, I got to say Mark Burnett, and I know this from rehab, he made a Jesus mini-series that's stellar. And if you're in rehab, you will watch that every other night, okay? But he also made The Apprentice. And that's the same thing he did with Jesus, he's doing with Donald Trump. And it sells. And you're like, oh my gosh, look at this. Now, I don't know which one is more accurate, but that's what he sold to America. So a lot of people in the South and in Iowa, that's how they got to know Donald Trump. They're like, oh, I know it from The Apprentice. People in New York know it's bullshit. They're like, that's not, we don't. They never watched the show because they know who Donald Trump is. But people in Iowa were like, oh my God, he's the guy from The Apprentice.
Did they not have used cars lots in Iowa?
They do, but he's the king. He's the king of the.
He's just another used car salesman.
No, but people listen. I grew up with nobody. We love people with no money. We worship rich people. We have a certain. That's the rich people in our town. We're like, oh my God, they are better than us. That's just how we feel. The people that own the meatpacking plant, we look up. That's just how it is. They are just a little better than us.
Still?
And Donald Trump, no. So after we went on a strike at Hormel, they fired us all. We tried to burn their house down. But anyway, we at least peed on their toothbrushes. But you do look like
when
that
you see Smokey the guitar player. Do you have a fond spot? Because Tom Waits' guitar player is Smokey Hormel, the heir to.
Yeah, let me tell you. Well, Beach chatting from the suburbs. His wife is one of the McMillans who owns Cargill. They're very nice people. If you know,
so Tom
the
risen up
from Minneapolis.
Tom has risen up to forgive the rich.
Oh my God, not Beach. Okay, I'm getting all my names wrong. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back anyway. Let me go back in the First of all, shout out to the Suburbs, one of the greatest bands who ever.
Nate, he's looking at you.
In the history of music. Period.
The Suburbs.
Yeah, it's called the band.
Love is the Law. One of the greatest songs. Beach.
It is beautiful.
Yes. I don't even want to get. Okay. Anyway, let's just leave that there. And there is a Cargill connection.
So, but what I was trying to make a point, I don't think it's only people in New York or LA that were hip to I don't know if this guy's a billionaire. I don't know if this guy, his message is what resonated, not him.
Right.
I believe that.
But here's
the problem. That now.
Here's the problem. Here's why I'm going full out and people are like, Tom, be good to our president. And I'm like, F you. Because he's on stage at the NRA convention, lying, scaring people. And as a person that spent a year in trauma therapy, that is not okay. His lies are such lies. They are such 17-year-old boy in their mother's basement lies like, hey, they're trying to, the next thing you know, they're going to make vans illegal because people are hitting people with vans. And they're just insane lies. And they are literally costing people their lives. That's
They
the
are
problem with his
costing
lie.
people their lives.
Yeah. And then I hear, and then people are like, talking about my ex-wife, Roseanne, who has a TV show. Let her have her TV show. Well, no, she can have her TV show. It's a huge hit. But more power to her. But she's also part of this Trump insanity where she thinks Trump's working with Robert Mueller to arrest Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and put him in Guantanamo Bay. And everything he does is amazing because he's never done a fat joke about her. She'll say that.
Is that why you're not on the show?
Oh my God! I am scared shitless of her. I did her roast and I was scared to death.
You guys got along at that roast.
Yes,
though.
I thought we were buddies. So when the show came up, I'm like, "Hey, talk to."
I knew you guys together, and I think you both believe in the same things on a certain level. She just clicked with this message of this guy. What he presented is, we're going to wipe this slate
she's full
clean.
on. No, she is.
I know. So is some other friends of ours that I don't want to name that believe in vapor trails and fluoride in the water. That's a lot of our friends became like that. But the reason why Trump resonates is this message of burn it all down.
No, but you have to have a little bit of critical thinking. You got to see there's got to be, you can't, but I'll tell you what, you show with everything he does, especially if you're a comic, you got to be, like Stormy Daniels kicked Roseanne's ass comically this week on Twitter, because she can't as a comic, you can always see the little, you can read between the lines.
But she's not a politician. She's getting caught up in politics.
No, but she started making fun of Stormy Daniels about anal sex. Stormy Daniels, she goes, well, Stormy Daniels is known for anal sex. She goes, well, I guess you're known for the frickin' national anthem or whatever. Stormy Daniels just B-slapped. Roseanne used to be one of the funniest people on the planet.
Why are you not on that show?
Oh my God!
You're missed.
I'll tell you what.
Missed.
Can you imagine how much it would have to go in the crapper before she called me and asked me? It'd be like the roast. Like nobody did the roast. She called me the last day.
I disagree. I think it would be. I think it'll be a huge deal if you.
Can you imagine how nervous I would be?
Yes.
Good Lord,
Bob and I will have to be there.
You would have to be there.
No, but let's just go back. Here's something of our circle of friends in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes.
A lot of them believe fluoride drew. I'm telling you. And Nate and I know, they believe these crazy
it's that
things.
QAnon.
These are not dumb
everything
people.
adds up. You have to believe in so many conspiracies to think everything Trump does is genius. Oh yeah. Oh, look at him again. What he just said.
What are you going to do when he wins the Nobel Peace Prize?
I hope he does. I hope he wins Obama's. I hope they have to give it to him. If they take the nukes out of North Korea, Trump is so D-list. His enemies, I'm D-list, and I'm his enemy. Like everybody around this guy is. That's why I have no fear about it. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, are you fearful that he's going to have you murdered?" No, because he's so obvious.
He doesn't care.
His crimes are obvious. His everything.
He's definitely one who believes that old adage that no press is bad press.
Oh, for sure.
Well, no, he's the only in all of his people around him. He's the only totally authentic person. He hasn't changed a bit from the guy I met 30 years ago.
Were you his friend at one time?
Well, we were friendly. I did an HBO special. Roseanne and I, in 1990, I did business with him at his Trump Castle.
And how did you find him then?
He's like, fantastic. First of all.
No, but what did you think? What did you, Tom Arnold, feel about him?
Well,
he was
been
Donald
the
Trump.
same.
He's like, what would be fantastic if I had a friend. He's got a Dusseldorf. I will drive Roseanne out of the stage. He'll donate that Dusseldorf. And he wasn't going to be in a special. He's like, I will drive her out of the stage. And anyway, so that now he's in the special. I'm like, well, that's great. He drives her out and then he'll donate it. And then I end up having to pay a guy to hold this Dusseldorf in from New Jersey. And then, HBO's like, oh my God, we had to deal with him in a contract, but anyway, everything's fine. And oh my God, then he did my sports show a bunch. I went to the Playboy Mansion with him to visit his girlfriend Karen. This Karen McDougal, the Playmate.
Yeah.
I started tweeting about that 9 months ago, and Stormy Daniels and their lawyer way before they was public. I'm like, dude, here's the deal with these payoffs and this money, and people are like, yeah, we can't print that, Tom.
What's the deal with it? What is the deal?
Exactly what the deal is. Exactly.
They just pay people off.
Real.
Yeah,
He's an old school. He's just like his dad, probably.
Yeah,
right?
and by the way, the White House is like, yeah, Tom Arnold is crazy. He is a liar. It's all true. Everything I've said about him is true.
Well,
and there's more.
great
Michael
about-
Cohen sued me with Trump, and he's like, Tom Arnold's crazy. He sued asked Marty Singer, my lawyer. He's like, you got to quit saying this stuff
Michael
about
Cohen sued you?
Yes, he did.
For what?
For saying that
hurting his friend's feelings.
Yes. And then Marty Singer's like, you got to quit saying this. And I go, it's true. And then it turns out it is true. And then they had to.
This is the payout part.
Yeah. By the way, last week, who can I talk to? Yeah, I put it on Twitter. Felix Sater. I went to Felix Sater's house. That's Trump's Russia Tower buddy. Yeah. I spent the day with him. Michael Cohen and I were rooms next door to each other at the Regency in New York. That's all I'm going to say. And then Felix Sater met with Rudy Giuliani last Friday after I met with him at Trump. Anyway, these guys are all buddies. So watch my show.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it. When do we
By
get
the way,
to watch
Michael
it?
Cohen is not... He's saving his family. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yeah,
it's all working out well.
For whom?
For me, for my show.
For you.
By the way, Michael Cohen's buddies with Tish. That's all who I'm buddies with. We're all buddies.
Well, what does your buddy? Speaking of buddy, what does your buddy Arnold think about all this?
Well, by the way, he used to be like, you got to be easy on Trump, and then Trump effed him over.
Yeah,
and he's like, well, Trump. Anyway, Arnold's hilarious about it now because he's doing the gerrymandering thing and the environment because that Trump buddy is messing up the environment. That Pruitt. By the way, how crazy is Scott Pruitt? He is by the way, he's got all kinds of secrets going on.
I want to give you one of the hats I made. It says, make the swamp great again in the red and the white.
Oh, I love that. But by the way, speaking of hats, how big is Scott Pruitt's head? Like, it is unusually. He's got a whole bunch of stuff.
But most people look at that and go, oh, it's politicians. They're all like that. If we started digging into every single one of them.
Yeah, they're
so that's the sort of world we're in, I think. That's why it's so insulated from consequence.
Yeah.
When all this stuff starts emerging, everyone just goes, yeah, we knew it.
Yeah, but he's got the worst hitters.
No, but I think they think to themselves, they go, that's why we threw this TNT and this murder weapon we call Donald Trump. We threw him in because this is where all the politicians
Well, here's
are.
the thing. Everything he does, see, the Koch brothers are these two brothers. One of them has Alzheimer's, so he's not totally involved.
No, there's more than well, there's a great Koch brother that you might know. He's a great guy.
Oh, he's not involved with the two, Charles and whatever.
Yeah.
He's not one of the...
But they always get called the Koch brothers, and there's actually one
also
really
a nephew.
good guy.
There's a nephew that does pants. It's hilarious. You watch him on the internet. But there's two. One. Yeah. Anyway, Charles and whatever are the guys. Anyway, before Trump took office, they had his whole game plan typed up for him. All this tax stuff, all this other stuff. They're like, just do what we tell you to do. They got a guy named Mark Short that's in the White House right now. He's a bald guy. He looks like he's from the future. He seems pretty loose. When he's on TV, he's like, yeah, it's Donald Trump is. He seems like he's like he's from Scientology, like he's got it together. But he's the guy from Scientology. But he's from the Koch brothers. He's the guy that keeps all the policy stuff together.
Moving forward.
But they are losing their mind because Trump is so crazy with their stuff.
He steps all over it.
Yeah. So the NRA and the Koch brothers are getting their stuff pushed through him, but he's actually hurting them because he's so crazy.
Right. How many episodes you got?
We got 8 on the air.
And when does it start?
They're on now?
We're shooting now, and we start September, first week of September through the midterms.
Oh, I can't wait that long.
Well, we're going to start putting stuff out,
Okay, good.
You guys. Anyway,
this is man meets moment. Tom Arnold has met the moment of the Trump era.
Guys. Thanks, guys.
Are you okay? You good?
I'm good. By the way, I'm great.
Okay, good. Last time we'd met, we had an interesting conversation.
Yes.
Which was we were face to face with you. He was
but
like,
I just want...
Yeah. But Tom started with one of these. I got a friend. What would my friend do?
Oh, no. I was on my podcast. I was like, yeah, my friend's having trouble getting off of benzos. And what do you do about that? And he's like, well, that's a tough. And it was me. I was talking about me. But no, I went to, that was a year ago. I went down to Crossroads. And I did that. I've been in trauma therapy for a year, too, by the way. My son turned 4. And it was the same age as me when.
Oh, dude! I told you. What did I tell you?
I know you told Dr. Drew. Told me. I also give you credit, by the way, in case you didn't notice.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I did it, and I highly recommend it to anybody out there. If you know my story, you know that when I got sober the first time, I found a pedophile that from my past and confronted him in an appropriate way and stopped him from adopting boys, and then 30 other kids came forward, and it's a well-known story. And then as Dr. Drew warned me, hey, Tom, when my son was first born, something, he's beautiful and it's, perfect and everything, but it did occur to me so in the back of my mind, I think when something terrible happens to you, it's always easier if it could be your fault. And all of us are like this. And it did occur to me like, oh my gosh, because I was thinking, oh, maybe I was a bad kid. Maybe,
I deserved
even
it.
though I'd worked it through, it's still in the back of my mind, well, maybe I was a bad kid.
Well, my version of it was I liked it. I kept going back over there because I liked it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I do. Well, I never.
Because the idea is to be, why do you keep going back over there?
Right. Well, I got a free candy bar. But anyway, and it was a big one. But anyway. But it did occur when I saw myself, like, oh my God, no, I was perfect like him. Like that's a scary thought. Like, oh no. And then as he got older, I was like, oh my God, I was that small. Oh my God, people are horrible. Oh my God. And then it started, and out of the blue, I had lunch with Drew, and he's like, you should be aware Jax is going to be, we're just talking about family and kids. And boy, when he turns 4, that's going to, I'll probably hit you. You might have some issues. I'm like, no, it's fine. Anyway, it hit me like a freaking ton. And I started, take something like, I'd had trouble sleeping. Better take these benzos. Better take more at night. And it just became a bad issue.
Tom has this thing, too, where every relationship ended at 4 years.
Oh, yeah. My mother left when I was 4, and literally every marriage except for Ashley.
4 is like major
I forgot about that.
Major deal.
Yeah, that's
what happened when you were 4 years sober the first time. That's usually a tough time, too, 4 to 5 years.
I made it through. Oh, I got divorced. No, what happened the first time? No, I did get divorced. So
when did you get sober? I got sober in 88,
right before I got married.
In 88. What year is that? What year did you get sober?
In 90.
Okay. So
right before I got married.
I had relapsed and got sober again when I was over at your house at that meeting you used to have.
December 10th, 89 was when I first got sober.
Right. Then the funniest thing, we're huge Kiss fans, right?
Oh, my God. That's story.
And Timmons hears that the Peter Criss from Kiss is living under the Venice boardwalk.
Yeah.
And so all of us are like, Kiss, what the fuck? That dude needs to get help. And so Timmons and Tom go and get the guy. Bring him down.
No. I went first by myself and got the guy.
Did Timmons hear about it first or you?
I went on my own to impress everybody, and then I called Timmons. I go, hey, I got
Peter Criss. It wasn't.
I know.
Just a dude that looked like him.
I went and did it on my own to tell you guys, to tell everybody and brag. And I had him in a hotel.
Oh, you were going to be the new Bob Timmons.
Yes. Now, that's not. It's a real story. I took this fucking dude. I had to fight. People because he had fans down there and fight these other homeless people. And I get him in a motel on Ocean, and then Bob goes with me to take him to a meeting. I put it in the back of my car. Like he just was homeless.
He looked exactly like Peter Criss.
Yeah, he did. I started taking him to meetings, and then his ex-girlfriend called me and goes, "Oh my God, I want to fly him to Boston to save his life." I go, no, I got to keep him alive for another 24 hours to get him in rehab to get credit. And Bob and Dallas are like, this is amazing what you're doing for this guy. And I go, I was bringing him around. And then all of a sudden, he disappeared because this woman somehow got a hold of him because I was telling everybody I'm saving Peter Criss's life. And he ends up on a plane to Boston because I let him talk to her. And then it turns out the real Peter Criss, somehow I talked so much about it. It was on TV. It was on TV.
He was on TV.
The anonymity part. Bob Timmons was like, don't tell everybody. I go, well, I saved his life. It was on TV, and the real Peter Criss saw it. He's like, and he was sober. He's like, oh my God, I'm suing you. I'm like, oh shit, that's not even Peter Criss, and I'm telling. And Bob Timmons was like, do not tell oh my God. Anyway, I got sued, and then I got arrested because I'd kidnapped the first guy. And now he's in Boston. And then Timmons like, Steven Tyler's sober because he's in Boston, the random guy. So
Tyler helped the Kiss guy.
God damn it. So now Tyler, who I love and just saw him, has to go, because he's a good dude, he has to go save the random guy's life and take him to rehab. Oh, my God. What a screwed up mess.
You got arrested for kidnapping?
I did. So Marty Singer, I go down to Santa Monica Police Department, and the cops are so mad, kidnapping, assaulting all the other homeless guys because I had to.
It was the guy from Kiss, Drew. We had to save him.
Yeah. So then
were you guys all high at the time?
No.
We were sober.
Listen. It was my first. I went on my own to tell her. Let me just say this. So then it
was his first 12-step call. Tom Arnold's first 12-step call.
It was a little early. Let me just say, let's say this real quick. So anyway, I'm down there. It's me, Marty Singer. The cops are so mad they're like, you are an idiot. And this detective comes in the room. He's like this. He has the two cops go out. I still know these cops are. He's like, look, get it straight. You went down there by yourself to save this guy's life. I mean, you screwed everything up, but you did this. I go, yeah. And he goes, I'll tell you what, you do it one more time, we'll consider dropping these charges. I go, I'll do anything. Do it one more time? Yeah. He goes, here's the address. He goes, this guy he works in this precinct with us. He lives in La Habra. You get him out of his house. There's nothing we can do. He's going to be dead by this weekend.
He's a cop, using cop.
He goes, he's got a lot of guns. So when I went into his house, the cops, who I still know, they said they looked at each other like, okay, when he kills Arnold, we're going to say it was a home invasion. And we're still buddies to this day.
It's funny.
It's like when you and I went to get...
but this guy was a maniac here, Bob. He seems fine now. He's a crazy person.
It was a fun time.
It's like when you and I went to get Tom
was nice enough. I felt bad. When I did that national anthem, she had just done hers. And you guys sent me roses and said, don't feel bad. You know what I mean? And my thing was, she was kind of trying to make fun of it.
Roseanne.
I was not trying to make fun of it.
That's the saddest part. You were sincere.
I had smoked too much crack.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
That's really.
I wish that she'd smoked crack. That would have been a better excuse. She grabbed too much crack. That was her thing.
Do you remember her version?
Oh, yeah.
It was funny, though.
Yeah.
I support that.
She was trying to be funny. I just remember we went to get Sizemore. We looked at each other like...
Drew was walking up the driveway, and I've been around it so much. I was like, he's on meth and he's got guns. And Drew just went, oh, shit, yeah.
Not only that. He went into a band and started billowing, and we both backed out.
He was like moaning. When you got Tom Sizemore moaning in the bathroom.
How many things has Drew been in? And Drew's never been a maniac. And how many...
Because of him.
That's true.
Because I was walking down the side of the driveway. Like, you don't want to, and I'm looking in the window. You know what I mean? You got to be able to hit the ground if he mistakes us for an intruder.
Right.
You've been in that position.
I have been. But I'm thinking of Drew, who's a normal guy. How many times does he save people? Why do you let him do that? Why his family? I mean, I get it with us because we're maniacs, but why do you let him? You're a saint, Drew. Isn't he?
I always ask why he was doing that.
Similar to you, Tom, I don't know if you know Sizemore. He's the funnest guy.
I do.
So we were on this balcony thing overlooking, and he was being really crazy, and Drew's kind of recognizing agitation, psychosis, and I'm just looking, if I need to jump off this balcony, am I going to live? Because if he comes out of here with crazy, I'm going over
of course.
What were you thinking on that balcony?
I was looking because the kitchen was here. I realized I carefully checked that there were no knives.
Oh my God. Drew's cleaned out my house for my wife, unfortunately. I have to go.
You got to just make sure you're safe. But that's what we do.
Right.
You know, we go out and help and try.
Right.
But the Peter Criss thing is always the best because it showed Tom right off the bat. His heart's in the right place. I wanted to help the guy.
That's true.
And then when I found out it wasn't Peter Criss, I was like, so what does it matter?
Yeah, but by the way,
you know what I mean?
I remember you sitting in my Bentley with the fake Peter Criss, and all of a sudden no offense to him because he was homeless, but all of our windows went down at the same time. We were on our way to take him to a meeting, and we were loving him, and then all of a sudden the car started smelling, and our windows went down.
Yeah.
Had to air it out.
Guy's under the bridge.
He was under the bridge, man. In a crack tent.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff. But,
no offense.
But we've lived a long time. Don't you think that?
Yeah.
I guess
we've lived a long time.
I know, we have.
I got to get some stuff. I got to get back to some stuff. How are you and Schwarzenegger now? You guys
We're
are good.
We're good. And you know what? He had a procedure, and he's doing amazing. Yeah.
And they had to open him.
Yes.
He's had a previous, right?
Yes, he had back in, I think, 87, 88.
And that is just a congenital bicuspid valve?
Yeah. And he's amazing. He would always pretend he's perfect, but he's amazing. He's
one of my dreams is to be with you and him. Wait, listen to me. On one of his barbecue parties with the guys in the underwear and stuff.
Oh yeah. Well, that's that.
To me, it just sounds surreal.
Well, he turned 70 last summer. And there's you can see video on the internet of me and him and Sly getting a. First of all, So we get invited to the party. It's like 6 to 9 on a Saturday, and Ashley's like, "Yeah, we're invited to the 6 to 9 part, and then from 9 to 4 in the morning is with the guys with the G-strings." We got a hula dancing lesson. Me and Arnold and Slide. You can see it on the internet because somebody filmed it. and it's sort of sweet. But there was giant porcupines because he owns a circus. He took a European circus right out of money, so he sponsors them if he can use their animals for his parties.
So he brought an elephant in one
time.
time.
Oh yeah, the elephant destroyed his house, and he had one time he had a full-on big old tiger on a rope that some dude was smoking a cigar, like not a tiger trader. And I walked into a Christmas party and I saw a tiger, so I pull out my phone because I'm like, oh my god, this tiger's gonna start killing these assholes. I'm gonna film this. I'm gonna get the video.
Film it.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's a tiger. They're all his Republican friends, so it's gonna be hilarious. And it's just totally inappropriate situations with wild animals. He didn't grow up on a farm, so I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. But he is the sweetest guy in the world, and it's so funny.
You did that. One of my favorite stand-ups of yours was the one sort of the All-American one. What was it called? The All-American. It was one with a lot of flags and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You bust his balls so completely in that one.
Oh my god!
I wondered how he felt about that. It was like about 5 years ago, right?
Oh yeah. By the way, I have a new stand-up special, June 5th, coming out. Let's just say if I bust his balls and I've had to apologize, let's not cover any of that area. Let's not. You know what? I love him, and there's been times when I've got over the line and had to make amends, and he's accepted my apology.
Am I discussing one of those?
Yeah, perhaps you are. I worship the guy, and when my son was born, when Jax was born, he was the first person to visit Jax at the hospital, and he picked him up. He's like, because men like baby. He's like, he's like, I have 4 of these, and he's like, well, 5. Anyway, no. But I swear to God, he's a funny dude. He's the best.
So he's got a good political mind. What is?
Oh my God, he has a good political mind.
What does he think happens after this? Because I believe we've got 7 more years of this, not 3 more.
He is smart because he is genuinely doing something about the gerrymandering, which is how you end up in a situation like this, and the environment. I mean, he really.
But really, let's go back to the election. Did we really have a choice? That was a choice between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump?
Well, there was a choice. And
Bernie Sanders was a choice.
Bernie Sanders, and a lot of things happened for Trump to be, and there's still more to come. Listen, it's not just.
My point is, more Americans don't vote than do vote.
Well, this is going to change. So we got these midterms are very important. 2018, a lot of women are running that have never run before.
Right.
This Robert Mueller thing is real, and so is the Stormy Daniels thing. A lot of mistakes were made legally, and so is the state of New York. Eric Schneiderman you're going to see every one of those Trump family members indicted, and also Donald Trump. So if he thinks he's sliding out in one way, the guy is made, if you think, well, Robert Mueller is political, there is a lot of stuff going on, and you don't.
I do find it strange that Democrats embrace the military state, let's call it the FBI and all this, and they're the defenders of law and order, and the Republicans are the ones questioning it all.
Well, here's the thing.
In my lifetime,
it doesn't
from
matter.
McGovern to this.
Michael Che had a good joke last night at SNL. He said, he goes, wait a minute, how many? It's taken 18 months. He goes, is there a different FBI for black people than white people?
Well, the FBI is a conservative, or they're way more Republican.
But you come from my kind of background. They're the ones that investigated John Lennon. They're the ones that investigated and all kinds of stuff that I didn't like and was gross and un-American to me. Now all of a sudden,
speaking of
those
gross,
people that fell,
Jesus.
No, I'm sorry, but speaking of that, now all of a sudden the people that come up from that 70s mentality of question authority are now, don't question this authority, Robert Mueller and
so I'm going to go back.
Well, let me tell you, here's a little thing for you.
Yeah.
Andy McCabe, that was the FBI agent.
Yeah.
Do you know who his brother-in-law is? Jeff McFarland. And his sister, he's married to Jeff's sister. He could not be a more straight arrow, and his sister is they're the nicest people. The in-laws are from Iowa. They're the nice. If I would have said anything about the guy, I'd be a huge nerd. The nicest people in the world. Trump's like, oh my God, look at these bad people. The nicest straight arrows in the world, And Jeff. I mean,
I know Jeff.
And Trump's like, oh, look at these evil people. I mean, this is a guy who goes to work every day for 21 years and just one of those worker bees, and his wife, genuinely the nicest people in the world. And Andy McCabe's mother-in-law is a Trump Conspiracy person, I know. It's so, that's the craziness of
the craziness is what it says about us, America.
I know.
More than anything. More than all of this. It's us. It's us. It's us. It's us. Over
we
and
have
over again.
2008, the midterms are big, and that'll solve everything.
You have a bunch of charities.
I do.
Make sure I get them.
Captain Alcora's is great. Jimmy Kimmel, we had our biggest... we just had our big gala.
He had a child with a transposition of the great vessels. So
and one of our great pediatric cardiologists
saved his life.
And so Jimmy stepped up. We sold 3 grilled cheese sandwiches for $120,000.
Nice,
made by Jimmy. That's a wonderful camp, and we do that every year.
Camp Del Corazon, and you have a couple of charities too. Didn't you tell me some other ones?
I do. Well, that's good. That's good. I do a million.
What is it?
Music Cares.
Music Cares.
Well, Music Cares. They're big with the.
You've hosted some of those, right?
I have Bob. Forrest.
Did you do the auction though?
I've done that, and I've hosted it, and they're big. They do a lot of stuff with what's the rehab I just got back? Crossroads, and by that, by the way, I highly recommend.
But
that
here's
place.
the funny thing about Crossroads. Great rehab, old fashioned. Eric Clapton, Hazelden, perfect, right? To get a drug addict from Los Angeles to Crossroads is a really hard thing.
Why?
Yeah.
Because there's no direct flights there. You have to fly to Miami and wait overnight with a using drug addict.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I had to do a gig, too, on the way there. I had to do a gig for John Hancock and sit with the CEO of John Hancock. And my buddy, my lawyer, Dave Feldman, had to fly with me. We had to take like 9 flights, but it's fine because I'm so grateful my guys, including Jeff McFarland, Dax, everybody came over, Tom Hansen, and they're like, dude, you got to probably go, I know, and I don't know what to do, but I can't get off of this stuff. And I love these guys. And so
Dax is the best. He doesn't get enough. He doesn't get enough nods.
Yeah. Yes.
Shepard.
For what?
Just being a great guy.
Just in general. Yeah. He's just like the greatest guy. That's all he gets nods for.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He needs more nods for being an asshole. No, he's the greatest guy.
So where did you go? You went and did a gig, then you had to wait overnight in Miami and take 20 benzos? How many did you take in Miami?
Oh, I did. I wasn't going to start detoxing. I'll tell you that right now.
He took what he needed.
I took what I needed. Yeah. But I also wasn't going to go crazy because benzos is not something, I don't want to say this because you probably could. You're like, well, it's not like blow where you're like, I'm going to do a thought,
Yeah.
So I also had a gig.
Yeah.
So in Aruba.
Where? In
Aruba. Yeah.
Oh, that's close.
So I also, by the way, the detox for benzos.
Brutal.
Wow.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brutal. Yeah, it's a weird
then the first year is sort of
and also something you warned me. You said a lot of times when these people die, and Chris Cornell died when I was in there, and I talked about it on Howard, like that was. A lot of people they talk about dying from opiates, and Drew, you said to me, actually a lot of times there's benzos involved.
This is the big one right now, and that one still isn't being discussed publicly yet the way it should be.
I talked to Vicky like right away, and I kind of got the, these are, I know my situation, and I know Chris, for one of my original guys, and what a sweet guy, and what a. Good guy, what a guy that helped a lot of people, and here's a guy that, like me, medicating himself. Said,
but the doctor gave it to him, man. Yeah. Swear to God, makes my peers give it to him all the time. It makes me crazy.
Right.
Makes me insane.
But he's like me. Oh, I got this, and I'll do more. And she talked to him, and he's like, "Oh, I got this," and he probably got nervous. He's like, "Oh my gosh," and he's alone. And I'll tell you that in my experience.
Here's an interesting thing: how long can a sober person have no real sober, person in their life and stay sober? Because I know that Chris had a bunch of sober people. Then he drifted into surrounded by people that drink and smoke weed. And I know some of the records that he made. Some of them are my best friends. They're not people I can be with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I can be around them and do something, but then I've got to go back to my sober people.
Right. Well, you got to have your. I do.
You drift into that.
Well, also when you get a different high, like with my case, alcohol, cocaine. Okay, got it. Okay, now then it was opiate. No, I'm not getting ever. Opiates are not my high. Motorcycle wreck. Oh, okay. Well, that's why. Okay, I'm done with that. Well, benzos is I don't get high for benzos. Oh, I'm doing benzos. So that's
they
different.
make you feel really safe and warm,
right? But then all of a sudden it is your high.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that would think like, well, I'm a cocaine addict, not an opiate addict.
Exactly.
Well, now I got opiates.
You didn't believe that in your heart of hearts.
But I told myself that. Got it. So if I'm doing that, I'm not getting high, so I don't need to be around sober because this is on my own thing, and and all of a sudden I'm like,
it's something about that drift away from.
Yes,
even if it's one person.
You're right.
I've always got
completely.
I've always
you need
got
to be with one.
I could not go to a meeting for 6 months. I've still got him in my life.
That's right.
Right, and somehow the people that have
gone
back to drugs, they just disconnect from everyone.
But they don't want to be reminded or confronted.
Right.
That's why they do.
I think you think that you just don't need those people anymore. One of the things is my sober friends were my friends before I got sober. I think very few people have that.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Meaning I grew up and used with these people and then that we all got sober and now we have each other.
Right.
It's not like I went to rehab, I went to AA and now I got these new sober friends.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I wish that people made more emphasis on the relationships we have with, especially men among men.
Right.
You know, because there's things that come up when you get in your 50s and kids and divorce.
And just because you're married to someone doesn't mean they get it. Just because they love you, they may, or they're your brother or they're your sister or whatever, if they're your family, they may love you unconditionally, but they may not get it.
Typically don't get it. In fact, though, your wife was very helpful for Vicky.
Yes.
That was very nice.
Yes.
It was very helpful to her.
Yes.
Because being the codependent, you can help other codependents.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And very codependent.
Your kids are good, right?
Yes, my kids are amazing.
Yeah, I see that.
I mean, that's why you can take, I can take anything. Because you look at it, first of all, every question, every fear I've ever had, every day when I look at my daughter, Quincy, she's 2, loves me unconditionally. So I can't complain. Like, my mistake my whole life was trying to get a woman to love me unconditionally, a wife. That's just impossible. You have to hit all these markers. My daughter, no matter what I do, she loves me unconditionally. It's perfect.
Well, I got news for you. Don't fuck it up.
I won't fuck it up. But listen, she's 2. I'm 59. I mean, I don't know. How many years do I have? I'm just going to keep going.
I'm shooting for what? 76, 78. You said?
Yeah.
I cleared up the hepatitis C. My liver's all right. I'm going 76, 78.
Tom has one of my favorite.
You might make it to 80.
Right. Well, but imagine what that looks like. But anyway, I won't even be, But I tell you what, I change every diaper right now. My friends, when Jax was born, they're like, hey, let your wife do everything till he's 7. Then it'll be fun. I was like, I don't know where I'll be when he's 7. I got to get in there.
Where do you meet people like that?
Dudes.
Males.
Dumb guys.
Tom is one of my favorite cocaine stories. When you just first time you got sober, when you were in the bathroom talking to the mirrors and stuff.
Oh yeah. Tried to pull the skin off the outside of my eyeball.
Something up in there. Something.
No, he's going to cut it.
Cut it. I was just going to cut it off instead of trying to pull. And literally going to cut because I was like, I'll just cut this off. The extra layer of skin on my eyeball. I actually had pulled it out. I was like, well, I just cut it off.
Yeah.
Well, you said the FBI and the other side
Well, yeah, because I had a full on. No, I was like, all right, I see you assholes, full on. And now, okay, I'm on you guys. Listen, I know you that like I'd already had this running inner dialogue with them. I'm like, fuck it, okay, guys,
just
I know what you're doing. Like,
talk directly to them.
I'm on to you, so just don't even.
What are you gonna bust me for?
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of coke.
Yeah. Everybody's like, "Are you paranoid about this Trump stuff?" And I'm like, "Fuck no, man! I know they're watching me.
I'm being paranoid. I don't know what that is.
What do they want?
Yeah. All right, I think we got to wrap it up, guys. We could go all day. We could just go.
I appreciate it. It's good to see you. It's good to see you guys. I love you guys. Thank you.
And it's hashtag. Now, what do you want people to do?
Vice. What is it? Viceland.com. It's hashtag TIPS. Send me a. If you get any tapes on Trump, just send them over.
And what is the hashtag? The hashtag is the hunt for the Trump tapes. What are we using the hashtag for? Just to
I don't know.
All get together.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, the hunt for the Trump tapes. Yeah, but,
at Tom Arnold.
I don't know how it works.
At the Tom Arnold Instagram.
Yeah,
the Instagram of your kids and Facebook is fun.
Oh yeah, we have fun. It's funny with I put up.
I wondered why can't somebody get a copy of his tax records? I guarantee you he is not a billionaire.
Oh you're right. I wonder how that would happen.
Okay.
Tom.
If you have a friend in the Nevada Gaming Commission, a kid, 17-year-old hacker. Anyway, is that illegal? I don't know. What's going on here? What's happening?
I'm getting paranoid if you're not.
Yeah.
All right, so
thank you.
Good luck on the show.
Oh, now I gotta watch. You
Yeah.
have the tax records.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Just the first 3 pages. That's all. Anyway, is that illegal? I don't know what's happening.
Tom Arnold,
thank you guys.
I got to.
Oh my God! I just feel better now after a little bit of Tom Arnold in your life.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I want to mention our friends at Bergamet Sport, a supplement that provides all the cardiovascular benefits of the original Bergamet, but with additional additives designed to aid athletes and those with active lifestyles. Bergamet Sport is recommended and used by professional and college athletes throughout the world, helps them improve stamina, reduce recovery time, and muscle inflammation. Bergamet Sport is Informed Sport certified, so athletes can feel confident that it's all natural and it has been banned substance tested. But even if you're not a pro athlete or just getting a workout once a week or so, Bergamet Sport is still worth a try. It can help you work out harder, recover easier, without worrying about being sore or tired the next day. I've used the products myself. I've recommended them to patients. We use them in our family. And I've done so just as physicians and cardiologists around the world have done. And Bergamet Plus is excellent for what's called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which has just passed all other forms of liver disease in terms of causing cirrhosis. So it's something that is a major health issue presently and needs to be paid attention to. For a limited time, our listeners can save 10% on their order by entering code DRDREW at checkout. That is DRDREW, all one word. Try Bergamet Sport for yourself. Visit Bergamet.com. That is BERGAMET.com. Or just click the Bergamet banner at drdrew.com.
Remember, you can find all these podcasts at drdrew.com. The Dr. Drew podcast, the This Life podcast, and the Adam and Drew podcast, which is available 5 days a week. Find them all on iTunes and rate us 5 stars. Subscribe and get it first. And if you're really happy, click on the Amazon banner at drdrew.com to help support the show. We'll thank you for it. If you join the email list via drdrew.com/contact, we'll send you a weekly infusion newsletter with Dr. Drew's news. We're so grateful when you get in touch. We read all your emails and we'll bring you the subject matter you want to hear about.
You live.